With on the slalom there. Now, over the past 10 years, Latin American cinema has become globalized. Mexico, in particular, has been extraordinarily creative, and the work of writer Guillermo Arriaga is quite astonishing. Popular with audiences around the world, from the brutality of the dogfighting underclass in Amores Perros to the burning plane.
Come on. Leave it, Jack. He's a kid, Jack.
He's a punk rat.
No, he's a kid.
21 grams with Benicio del Torres and Sean Penn. Arriaga, who describes himself as a hunter who works as a writer. The characters search for relationships and each other in a fractured narrative.
Richard, why did we come here?
What do you mean, why?
Typical of Arriaga's works, films are told in a non-linear form, with events revealed out of sequence. In his 2006 hit Babel, the lives of Cate Blanchett and Brad Pitt's characters take a sudden, unexpected and bloody turn. And Guillermo Arriaga is with me now. Guillermo, your country has within it some of the richest people in the world, in fact the richest possibly, and some of the poorest people in the world. I just wondered if you felt that in your lifetime globalization had made it a better place to live, Mexico.
Well, it has been a better place in certain ways, but certainly not for the majority of the population. I think one of the greatest problems of the economy in Mexico began in the 80s. Well, this was this agenda to open the markets around the world and to have huge corporations that will, you know, they will be more economically solid, more solid, and they will spread the wealth. But that didn't happen at least it didn't happen in Mexico. But
did the phenomenon of globalization also open people's minds and their eyes to different cultures and so on? Because I'm struck, looking at your films, you know, Amores Perros is very particular to Mexico, but yet it impacts on us all because we all have very similar feelings, and that, in a sense, is globalized.
What is good about globalization is that we understand that we human beings, we have like very basic things that make us have a lot of in common. Very little, but a lot in common. For example, we have the fear of death, we have the sense of love, we have the sense of protection of the kids. And I was amazed, for example, with Amores Perros, someone was saying, it's the story of my life. And he was from Finland or from Vietnam.
Where dogfighting is not a big thing, I think.
Yeah, it's amazing how filmmaking can bring people from so many different places to this common human thing.
You're talking now like someone who's basically optimistic, and I know you've said of yourself you're an optimist. Some people looking at your film, they see pretty, I mean, those little clips are hardly, you know, they explain a lot, but they are pretty dark.
Yeah, that's why they are optimistic, because because these people come from very dark places into a chance of redemption or a chance of changing or a chance of finding love. It's not they stay in the dark places. That's why I say it's feel-good movies. Because a feel-good movie with a romantic comedy, okay, they are okay. But these people, they come from really, really dark abysses.
And so we can see, I mean, like listening to blues music, it's so miserable it makes you happier. Maybe you didn't put it quite like that. But are you equally optimistic about the way your country is going, the way the world is going? Do you see that the opportunities of globalization may actually make things better in the long run for the people you were talking about?
I think it's quite difficult. I'm basically an addictive. I have an addiction for optimism, so I would like things to work out, but I think that a lot of things have to change in the world in order to achieve that.
But given these hard times, is this a good time to be in a creative business? Is it a good time to be a filmmaker?
Absolutely, because you know, I think that the more the contradictions there are in culture and society, the more you have the need to express them. So it's a good time for creativity.
But I'm struck by looking at some of the films of the 1930s. They were so popular because they were escapist. They're, please take me away from this terrible world. You actually say, look, the world is even worse for some people. And is that part of it? I mean, it's interesting that makes them so popular.
You know, I think that people right now want to have a dialogue within themselves and have the opportunity to talk with the rest of the people about the things that are happening in their lives. So I think they don't want to escape from reality. They want to have an understanding of what's going on. You know, people has become too abstract. Suddenly the Nikkei falls down, and what's the Nikkei? It's in Japan. Why I lose my job because Japan. It's like it's so abstract that people need to have something to get a sense of reality.
And when we have discussions, I don't know if you saw any of our discussions tonight, but talking about fairness and about how much people should be paid and so on, are those absolutely common discussions that people in Mexico and other places you go to would understand?
Yes, of course.
Same discussions everywhere?
Yes, the same discussions.
Okay, Guillermo, thanks very much.
No,
nice to see you. Now let's have a quick look at tomorrow morning's front pages, wherever you are. There you are. And the time